All right, y'all. Hillary Clinton emerged from the woods to give her brilliant election advice. Because if there's one thing Hillary Clinton knows, it's winning elections. Hillary Clinton warns Democrats risk frightening defeat if they keep taking extreme positions. Quote, "We're on the precipice of losing our democracy." Extreme positions. All right, let's see what they say here. Hillary Clinton took a pessimistic view of the Democrats' electoral prospects, warning that the party is setting itself up for a rejection around the country by embracing extremist positions. In an interview published Friday, the former Secretary of State sat down with Financial Times editor Edward Luce. During the conversation, she reflected on her 2016 presidential candidacy, the possibility of overturning Roe v. Wade, and what her past dealings with Vladimir Putin tell her about the war in Ukraine. Clinton went on to voice a number of concerns about the Democratic Party's break with common sense politics, saying that it hurts their chances of winning elections in the future. I mean, look, this is the most hilarious thing I've read in my life, that Hillary Clinton is talking about the Democratic Party's break with common sense politics. She is that break with common sense politics. She lost to Donald Trump. And you know whose fault that was? It was Hillary Clinton's fault. But of course, she points the finger in every other direction. She says it's because of sexism, it's because of Jim Comey, it's because of the Green Party, it's because of the Russians, it's because of the FBI. She has a laundry list of excuses. The Bernie Bros. All right, so here's the excerpt. This is from the Times. "I cannot allow the lunch to end without questioning the direction of her party. I say the Democrats seem to be going out of their way to lose elections by elevating activist causes, notably the transgender debate, which are relevant only to a small minority. What sense does it make to depict J.K. Rowling as a fascist? To my surprise, Clinton shares the premise of my question. Quote, "We are standing on the precipice of losing our democracy, and everything that everybody else cares about then goes out the window," she says. "Look, the most important thing is to win the next election. The alternative is so frightening that whatever does not help you win should not be a priority." I love this because it's dumb in like 4 different ways. The idea that there is any Democratic candidate prioritizing calling J.K. Rowling a fascist, as if somebody's running on calling J.K. Rowling a fascist, or even as if any Democrat is running on trans issues, that is fundamentally not true. You know, from my perspective, and you guys tell me if you agree, the most I see people talking about trans issues is from conservatives online. They're the ones who cannot stop talking about trans issues. It's relentless. It's day in, it's day out. It's culture war, tripe, and nonsense day in and day out. And they're the ones who obsess with the issue of trans people. So I don't even know what she's talking about here. I don't even know what she's talking about. The left is not putting that front and center. The left is not running on that. In fact, the left was very clear that their main issue was getting Build Back Better passed. So in other words, the left was focused on universal pre-K and elder care and lower prescription drug prices and Medicare expansion and extended child tax credit and any of a number of provisions that would have helped working families. That's what the left was focused on, and that's what the left is focused on. That's what I see. Now, I have many criticisms of the left, but the point that Hillary's making here and the point that whoever the interviewer was made here is beyond absurd. The idea, like, I figured it out, guys. The reason why the Democratic Party has such a low approval rating is because apparently we're running on calling J.K. Rowling a fascist and we can't stop talking about trans issues. That's nonsense. The reason why the Democrats have a low approval rating is because they're not doing anything. Joe Biden had a high approval rating, over 50%, when he cut people $1,400 checks. It turns out when you give people a check for $1,400, they go, I kind of like this, and I kind of like you. Thank you for doing that. But then when you sit there and do nothing for an extended period of time, as inflation rises, as gas prices rise, as people feel like they're getting screwed, well, of course they're going to turn around and be like, well, what have you done for me lately? What have you done for me? So the problem is the lack of material support. The problem is Joe Biden isn't getting any of his agenda through. Manchin and Sinema stall it. Biden doesn't fight for it. And then everybody turns around and blames the left. Okay, why hasn't anybody talked about the fact that the left was right about Manchin and Sinema and Build Back Better? The left said, we're not going to vote for the traditional infrastructure bill unless it comes with Build Back Better. Because if you don't pair them together, we're not getting Build Back Better. They're going to play you for a fool. And that's exactly what happened. And then nobody turned around and said, hey, thank you, 6 left-wing Democrats who said the right thing and were factually correct. Nobody ever said that. And Hillary Clinton, if she was being honest, would have to admit that. But she doesn't admit that. She pretends like the left is running on trans issues. And again, Hillary Clinton talking about like, step aside, guys, let the expert come in and tell you how to win elections. The person who lost the most winnable election in my lifetime lost to a reality star buffoon. I mean, imagine losing to Donald Trump. Imagine losing to Trump, and you're going to come in and say, step aside, let me give you my wisdom. What wisdom? What wisdom? You ran on, I'm the neoliberal world order. I'm the status quo. And then people rejected that. So again, her argument is effectively, why don't you guys just like reassert that you're the status quo and you're the establishment and you support neoliberalism and corporatism? That'll help you win. Stop talking about trans stuff and start reminding people you're in favor of the status quo. Well, that is how people see Biden, and that's why his numbers are so low. So she is the problem. She acts like she's the solution. She acts like she has ideas. You are the problem. You are the problem. It is because, okay, look, Hillary Clinton and her ilk, Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden, corporate Democrats, establishment Democrats, they embolden Donald Trump. They embolden the rise of fascism in the country. And I don't say that lightly. They're the ones who emboldens the right. They're the ones. They literally propped up Trump in 2016. They admitted to doing the Pied Piper strategy. What does that mean? Hey, let's prop up Trump and say he's the one we're really afraid of because we feel like he's the easiest to beat. And that's what they did. And then, lo and behold, you didn't beat him because you suck and you don't deliver anything for anybody. Imagine being supposedly on the political left and you're not interested in trying to get everybody health care in the country. You're not interested in higher wages. You're not interested in unionization. You're not interested in universal education, so free college. You're not interested in, universal daycare, for example. You're not interested in materially improving people's lives. Imagine being nominally on the left and all of the main material core concerns and economic concerns people have, you just have no interest in them. So literally her advice is what? Don't talk about trans stuff. Don't talk about J.K. Rowling. And just say over and over, our democracy, our democracy, our democracy. Okay, you've been trying that. It's not working. It worked in 2020 with Joe Biden. Let's go back to normal. But now people see normal and he has a lower approval rating than even Trump did. So the go back to normal shit is not going to work, man. It's not going to work. We saw Terry McAuliffe is attached at the hip to the Clintons. They love him. He loves them. And he ran on this exact strategy and got beaten by Glenn Youngkin. So the idea, Trump bad, Trump real bad, Trump real bad, Trump real bad. And then what? And then what? Nothing. You got nothing. Taking advice from Hillary Clinton on how to win elections is like taking advice from Dick Cheney on morality. It's like taking advice from Charles Manson on morality. She has no idea what the fuck she's talking about, and that's obvious. Ever since Adpocalypse, when YouTube defunded all independent news and politics overnight, we haven't trusted them. We know they can pull the rug out from underneath us at any time. If you enjoy this content, please consider tipping $1 or $2 per month on the Secular Talk Patreon. Link in the video description box below. Thanks for your support.